Hey guys, week 2, here we are. Let's walk through our module, and I'm going to give you a little hint on getting going on your pamphlet as well. So that's like your bonus content for watching today's video. Okay, I'm in module 2 right here. See week 2. Okay, so you have this video right there to click on. This is our Q&A, or if you're having questions about an assignment, I'd like you to type it there, unless it's something you want to email me personally, that's fine too, but this gets everybody out there to be able to see the answers. Okay, we're on chapter 3 this week, even though it's week 2. We skipped chapter 2, going to chapter 3, biological foundations, prenatal development, birth. Okay, here is the PowerPoint that breaks the chapter down into, like slides with bullet points and such. There's a ton of information in this chapter. But the quiz will be open book, so don't worry about trying to memorize it all, just get it read. All right, so then your assignments start with a discussion board. Of course, you guys know how to do this because you did it last week. So the topic is environmental influences. If you had to choose 5 to put on a campaign to promote healthy prenatal development, which ones would you choose and why? So here's the page number, a little hint here. Get yourself started on that. Okay, I don't feel like I need to talk about that very much. You guys can handle that, I'm sure. Okay, then our reflection here, medical interventions. So these reflections are not public. These are like your own personal thoughts, and you're submitting them to me, but I'm not sharing them with others. So this one is a little bit controversial because everybody has their own beliefs about these kinds of things. So you're going to write about, I guess I don't know how long it's going to take you to write this. I am not going to get super worried about how long this is, but there's kind of a lot of information for you to put in here. So this tells you the purpose of this assignment, why we're doing this. These journals are going to help you grow. The review is excellent later on. This is the knowledge, like the content that we're studying for this specific reflection. So each reflection should have a different knowledge there. The skill is about communicating clearly. And then this one is also about verbalizing your personal beliefs about sensitive issues in a professional and respectful manner. You see this right here? I'm going to highlight that right there. Okay, so you are only going to send this to me, but I don't want to hear things like, I don't want to read things like, people who believe such and such are such and such, and then some profane or slanderous statement about someone who believes different than you. This is not Facebook. We're not doing political posts about things we disagree just so we can get a rise out of people. All right, I want professional and respectful conversation in your writing. I want it to sound like someone who could give this little speech and not offend anybody. Okay. So what am I talking about? Why am I giving you all these instructions? So here it is right here. Many people object to the use of extraordinary medical measures to save extremely low birth weight babies because of their high risk of developing serious physical, cognitive, and emotional problems. So there are some who would say that you should not go to all of this extreme measure to save these tiny babies that aren't going to live without it. What do you believe about that? Why do you believe that? Can you find research or data to back up your beliefs? If so, please cite it properly. Have your beliefs regarding this issue changed? Did you used to believe something else? Okay. Then at the very end of your statement, after you've told me all of these things that you believe, at the very end, I'd like you to add, a few sentences, 5 to 7, that you might use if you were discussing this issue with someone who has a different belief than you. Okay. So we could put this on a discussion board, and I'm sure we'd have beliefs all across the spectrum here, but we're not doing that. This is just a little write-up assignment you're going to hand in to me. But what if you were discussing this with someone who believed different than you? So this is where this professionalism comes in. I want to hear respectful and professional statements that you might use when talking to someone else. Okay, then there's this little Turnitin thing I thought we should talk about for a minute. Turnitin is a plagiarism detector, so it'll tell you what % of your writing it could find all over the internet. So you hit submit, Turnitin automatically scans through hundreds of thousands of documents and the internet looking for the same sentences and then it will come back telling you what percent of your paper it could locate, and it'll highlight it. So if you copy and pasted a paragraph off of Google somewhere, like WebMD or something, it will highlight that and tell you where you found it, and also show me where you found it, that it was not your own writing. So what you want is you want a score to come back less than 20%. Okay, so we're not going to do this every time, but I do want you sometimes I'm going to turn it in on. When you hit submit, it's going to tell you your score. If it comes back higher than 20%, you clearly are getting too many of other people's words in your writing. So I'm using this like a teaching tool, not to like try to catch you, but for you to say, oh gosh, I did read that article and I guess I said it way too similar. Okay, so gotta give yourself some time to write this and then have the plagiarism check it, and then it's going to come back to you so you can fix it. Highlighted things you can fix, okay? So 20%, 25%, I've got both of them here. Kind of anywhere in between there is okay with me. If you put direct quotes around something and say word for word what someone else has said with quotation marks, that does not count because you are citing it with a direct quote, so it won't come up against your score. Also, phrases like less than 3 to 5 words. Like if you say, child development researchers say, I mean, people say that little phrase like hundreds of times a day in articles, so that wouldn't work, okay? So little tiny phrases like that aren't going to count against you either. Remember, you're looking for a low score, not a high score. You want a low score with Turnitin. It's going to be the percent of your paper that is someone else's work. So of course we want a low score there, right? Okay, so I've talked about this for a long time, and it's really not going to take you that long to do this assignment. It just kind of had a lot of instructions, I guess. I would be getting my paper done by like Thursday, so I could turn it in, get it back, and still have a day to think about it and edit it, and then turn it back into me. Okay, so here's where your rubric is. I just click on these little boxes to give you grades, like did you get all the communication criteria, you get 5 points. Is your research and knowledge of the issue adequate, or is it excellent? Then you get points based on whichever place your paper falls. Your professional and respectful statement. Okay, so see this part over here? This right here is that bottom part of the paper where you're going to talk about how you would speak to people who believe different than you. So you could earn 10 points there as well. Okay, my phone's ringing. I am going to just turn that puppy off for a minute. Okay. So I'm going to move myself back over here. I'm going to go back into our module. All right, that was like a lot of talking about that little assignment because it's not really that big of an assignment. Your larger assignment this week is this Expectant Fathers pamphlet. So if you click on that, it gives you tons of information. Again, I've done the purpose, skills, task, that whole set, so you can like really understand what I'm looking for here. Okay, so you guys can read this. I'm not going to read it to you, but I'm going to jump down to the task. Create a pamphlet for expectant fathers using information, and gives you some pages to turn to in your book. Why are we doing this? Well, again, this is good communication skills. This is going to help you with even computer skills. And also, it's going to give you knowledge about prenatal development. Like, it's going to make you really dig into this deeply. If you could turn it into a pamphlet, you clearly must understand it. Okay, so you guys are all like, what's a pamphlet? What do we do? So I've got some pamphlets here I'm going to show you. This one is about scholarships. This is what's called a trifold. So see how it opens 3 times? Tri, like tricycle. Tri means 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you're like, whoa, right now you're all thinking, I don't know how to do that. How am I going to make that? Hang on, I'm going to show you. Because the other option is a bifold. So this one would open and then have a back. So this would be like this one's actually a trifold, but I'm pretending like it's a bifold. Like if it was one piece of paper, it would open up and have 2 columns, and it would have a front and a back. Okay? This would be like a bifold. Now, you're like, how do I do that? I don't know how to make that. I'm going to show you. I opened Word just a minute ago, so here it is. When you first open Word, you get this screen that asks you about templates. And then you go right here to search, and let's type in trifold. When I type in trifold, look at all those. Look at how beautiful they are. Okay, so this one's for fathers. Maybe I'll go with this sports idea. Okay, so when I do this, I'm going to create a template. It's going to download into my computer. I can just do it and show you. And it's gonna, now I see the word screen. I can click in this box and I can say, well, let's say this is the front right here. I'm just gonna click on this title and I'm gonna type expectant fathers. Okay. What to expect when she is expecting. How about that? Okay, and you might say ABC childcare. We are here for you. I don't know, whatever your slogan is, okay? So please don't type just exactly what I just typed. I'm just giving you an idea, okay? Then I would go to the second page. See how this is the first page? This is the second page, which would be like the inside. Remember this one? This one had a cover, and that's what I just typed expectant fathers on. And then it has this back, and then it has the inside. So really it's just a 2-page document that you could fold. If you printed it, you could fold it. All right, and then you just type in things that you think fathers should know, what they should look for. Maybe, I don't know, you guys, I'm not going to do this like giving you specific examples because when I do that, all the papers turn out the same. So the idea is that you get the meat of the information from, don't need to save that, from these pages right here. All of the things fathers need to know, and then put it into a pamphlet, detail the process of pregnancy and childbirth for expectant fathers. Okay, so what can they expect to see? What does the embryo, what happens with the baby every trimester? You know, maybe you could have a little first trimester, second trimester, third trimester block. You can see right here, there's all of these little clues about what information, you know, to type. It's more than just, you know, go to the store and get her like pickles when she wants, okay? This is like medical and nutrition and developmental type information that a father might need. Okay, here is the rubric, which is very generic, just that you were thorough and accurate and you addressed all aspects because the aspects are right here under task. Okay, so read this assignment carefully. Use Word or Google Docs may do the same thing. And that takes care of that one. And then it's just the quiz. Chapter 3 quiz. Okay, so Chapter 3, discussion board. What environmental influences should you focus on if you were in charge of that? Medical interventions reflection, which is just a private paper you're writing and sending to me. And then your pamphlet. Okay, so you're going to upload this as a Word document, so you don't actually have to print it and find color ink and all of that. It's just going to come to me like the sample I just showed you on the screen. It'll just be like in my mind. I would know that I could print it and how that would look. All right, and maybe I'll print some of them for you. If you want to print it and bring it to class, that would be great, because then we could share them when we have class next week. Otherwise, just upload it. Okay, so that brings us to the end of week 2. Next week we have class in person Tuesday night, so we'll be doing some fun stuff that night. And we'll talk about week 3 in person. So that's all I have to say about week 2 for now. You guys feel free to send me questions in the questions and answers discussion board. I'll be looking forward to your replies in our environmental influence discussion. Okay, have a great week. Talk to you later.